Hello friends, welcome back to the new tutorial of the Flask. Today we are going to learn about the Flask authentication tutorial with the MySQL. Those who haven't subscribed my channel yet, please do subscribe my channel, and if you like the video, please do like, share and comment on my video. Let's get started. So first of all, we have a project structure, that is Flask auth. Then in the app we have a init file, model, route, static templates, config, run, and the requirement.txt file. Okay, so what would be the step for setting up the project that make the directory for the Flask auth? Then we have to run this command python -m for the environment variables. Then we have to activate that environment variables. Then we have to install some of the packages that requires the Flask SQL Alchemy, Flask Bicret, Flask Session, Flask WTF, and you have to add PMySQL also. Okay. After that, we have to freeze that requirement.txt file. Okay. Now, moving to the next step, this is the project that we have already. And first of all, let's go with our main file, that is run.py. Okay, so this is our basic file, and this is the main file which help is to run your project. So that is create app. Okay, app, import create app, and then app run in a debug to be true. Okay, next step, that is init.py file. Here we have include all the main files that we have. Then import the Flask to create the application instance, import SQL Alchemy for database handling, import Bicrypt for the password hashing, import Flask session for server side management. Now we have a config, importing configuration settings from the separate config file. Okay, then initialize extensions without binding them to the app. This allows for the better modularity. So we are going to initialize all the instances, that is database, Bicrypt, and the session. After this, we are going to create the Flask application instance, then loading the configuration settings from the config class. Okay, initialize the extensions with the Flask app now. So db.init app, bicrypt.init app, and then session.init app. Okay, so initialize the extensions with the Flask app. Okay, now importing and registering the authentication blueprint, right? So registering the auth blueprint to handle the authentication related routes. Creating all the database tables if they don't exist, because when we create the models, so if the tables are not there, so it will create that one, this one, creating all the database tables if they don't exist, and then returning the Flask app instance. Okay, next, we go with the configuration file. So this is importing the OS module to interact with the environment variables, then configuration class for the Flask application. That is secret key is what? The secret key for the session management and protection against the CSRF attacks. Okay, retrieves the secret key from the environment variables or the uses a default if it is not set. Database URI for collecting connecting to the MySQL database using the PyMySQL driver. So make sure PyMySQL is installed. So MySQL, PyMySQL, then root. This is our username. This is our password. This is our local host currently. So whatever IP you have, you can mention the IP, and this is our database name. Disable the SQL Alchemy modifications tracking feature to save the resources. To make it false, specify the type of session management. So currently it's file system. Okay, then we have a model. So this kind ID, username, email, and the password are the tables of my database. Okay, so these are the fields that we required in the users table, right? Then we have a routes, that is the most important file we have. Okay, so here we have all the routes for the register, login, and logout, and the dashboard also. Okay, so let's understand the code also. So first of all, we have to import the Flask render template request redirect URL for flash messages also. Then importing database instance for Bicrypt and the main application. Then import the user model. So this is, we are importing the user model. Then creating a blueprint for the authentication related routes. So authentication part. Then for the home page slash index, render the index.html. So you have to create that in the templates file, but I haven't created the index.html, so you can create that one. Okay, and adding whatever content, like two buttons with login or register. Okay, then we have a route for the user registration part, then register. So what we require, checking if the request is the post request for the form submission first. Okay, if yes, then username, email, password, and confirm password, I'm going to take the value from the form. If the password doesn't match, then flash message will come with the password doesn't match. Let's take a look. Okay, and then redirect to the registration page again. Okay, so here we have a registration page. I'm going to add the Rajni 33 Rajni test 90 at the rate mailinator.com. Password I'm going to add, let's add the wrong password. Okay, then would be flash message that password does not match, so it will come the password doesn't match with the danger and redirect to the auth url. Okay, if everything goes wrong, it's right, so in that case generate the password, create the user and commit that, save that user, and it will flash the message that the registration successful and redirect to the auth login screen, else username and email already exist, danger. Okay, so one condition again, I'm going to Rajni 90 is already created. Okay, Rajni 90 at the rate millionaire is already there, right? So I'm going to add the same email and the password also. Okay, let's see what will happen. Username or the email already exists because it's already there, so it will go over there, right? That is already exists. Now go with the registration successful process. Okay, so let's create the new one. Rajni 55 Rajni 55 at the rate mailinator.com. Password, let's add the correct password. And here we go, registration successful, you can log in now. So this will go over here, this is successful, and you can log in with the login screen. Okay, so let's go to the, here we are going to render the register template. Right now we have to go with the login screen. Okay, so request method is post, get this method, email and the password, getting the email from the form and the password, querying the query for the database, like whatever the email we have. So if the record found, okay, verifying the user's password again. So here we are going to bycrypt, using the bycrypt we are going to check the password. If matches, then we are going to redirect to the dashboard, else login failed. Okay, and render the login template. Right, so let's add any email, Rajni something mailinator.com, because it doesn't exist, right? So if I just go over here, that login failed, check your email and the password. Let's add the correct one, Rajnikant 55 at the millinator, and I'm going to add the password for this and login successful, and welcome to the dashboard, and this is our logout button. Okay, next we have a dashboard. So user ID is not in session, checking if the user is not logged in, or please log in to access the dashboard, danger, and go to the redirect to the login page, else dashboard.html. Okay, then we have a logout. So session.pop, removing the user ID from the session, logging out, flash that matches that you are logged out, and auth login screen, logged out, auth login screen. Correct. Now we are going to move this config. It is, everything is done. Now templates. This is our basic dashboard template. Here you can see that. So here we have the add the bootstrap CSS for the styling, container with the message. Here we are looping with the messages to show the alert messages over there, and this is our welcome, and this is our author.logout button. Okay, now we have a login screen. We have this user email and the password field, then on the top of it the same messages for the flash messages. Okay, nothing extra over there, simple. Then we have a register.html. Okay, so here you can see that this is also very simple. You have to create a form, and here you have to render the flash messages. Okay, okay, fine, nothing big on it. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, any doubt, any query in that, do let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day.